Hello, beautiful souls. Welcome back to another episode of the Awakening Her podcast. I'm your host, Talia Joy, and today we're diving into a topic that I know is probably close to your heart, especially if you clicked on this. I have been hearing from you guys. I've been hearing from the community. I've also done, market research in recent years, and I hear my clients, I hear the people that reach out to me, and I know that a lot of you, and I know for me, it's been quite the journey. A lot of you suffer with feeling this sense of self-doubt. You hear about trusting in the process, trusting in yourself. You can do it. Anything is possible. And that can really bring up a lot of self-doubt. So if you're like me and you've suffered with self-sabotage or not believing in yourself or just straight up being disappointed in the past by the way that things have panned out, maybe even disappointed in yourself, if you can resonate, put your hand on your heart, my love. I am here with you in this episode, and I really do understand what it's like. I have definitely been there. So today in this episode, I'm going to bring some wisdom from my spirit team on how we can reframe this element of self-doubt, how we can start to believe in ourselves and our abilities, even if we have always felt either weak or self-sabotagey or whatever in our life. I'm really going to reframe that for you today. And we're going to talk about how we can trust in the process, how we can get into flow, how we can manifest more from this place. But we're really going to focus on, believing in yourself. So we need to just be real for a moment. How many times have you found yourself feeling stuck or questioning your worth, questioning your ability, maybe even questioning your dreams, right? Like, can I actually manifest that beautiful car or that income or buying a home? Can I actually do this, right? Maybe you're taking big steps in your career, or you're pursuing a new project, or you're simply trying to be the best version of yourself. You're going down your path, you're really trying. And then out of nowhere, a really sneaky voice comes in, right? And it whispers like, who do you think you are? What if you fail? It's probably not going to work. I get it. Seriously, I do. Self-doubt can feel like a heavy weight that pulls you down and keeps you from fully embracing your potential. It keeps you from taking action or being brave, because truly, and no one can blame you for this, I know for myself, I have a lot of compassion, but we've been let down in the past, or we've self-sabotaged in the past. So rightly so, it makes us feel a little bit hesitant to, go after our dreams and hence into the future. So it can also make us feel isolated and overwhelmed and even lost. So this is what we're going to talk about today. And I want you to know that you're not alone. And self-doubt doesn't have to be the boss of your life. It doesn't have to control you anymore. We're going to go into a deep dive on this. And I really want to just have you sit here for a second before we dive in. And I want you to imagine a life where every day you wake up feeling confident. I just want you to picture a glimpse into your next level, into your dream life, where you wake up feeling confident. You feel inspired. You feel aligned with your higher self. You feel in trust with life, in sync with life. You feel more deeply guided by the universe and your spirit team and, that deeper sense of who you are. You're going toward your dreams and you're seeing things starting to really manifest. You're not held back by fear or doubt, and instead you move forward with courage. You move forward with faith in the process, quote unquote, whatever that means, right? And you feel this deep sense of inner peace. And that's what we're going to talk about today. We're going to explore spiritual truths that can help you to see self-doubt in a whole new way. I'm going to share with you some powerful, actionable steps, some story times of what I've been through. And we're going to really start to move forward so that today you can start to overcome these feelings of uncertainty and start trusting in the beautiful process of your life for what your soul has in store for you, for what you truly came here for. So if you're ready, grab some matcha, grab a chia jar, whatever you need to grab, maybe some tea. Let's step into this episode as we become even more ready to release self-doubt, to step into your power, to trust in this source universe process that is going on, and really start to move into that next level. Okay, get comfy, grab your tea, and let's get into it. Hey Seeker, welcome to the Awakening Her podcast. I am so grateful that you've been led here, and I'm excited for you that you're answering the call to manifest more magic in your life by mastering the law of attraction. So cool. My name is Talia, and I'm committed to cutting the fluff and showing you exactly how to manifest more excitement, ease, success, abundance, confidence, love, and anything else you've been craving. So if you're ready to crack the code on manifestation, amplify your intuition, and play in the quantum, we are now besties. Let's do this. All right, friends, once again, I'm so happy that you are here. If you are new here, welcome to this space of awakening, this space of self-growth, this space of manifestation, this space where you are truly not alone, my cozy little corner of the internet. Welcome. Come exactly as you are. I'm so excited you're here. And if you want to follow along and connect after the show, you can always come find me on Instagram at Talia Joy Manifestation. Okay, so let's dive in. I want to start today with some spiritual truth, some energetic truth, some beautiful wisdom that was wanting to come forward as I sank into this episode, consulted with my team of light, and decided, what angle we wanted to go about, what can really help you to move forward today. And this is what I want to talk about first. So it's important to understand, and I want to start before we dive in, that we want to look at our self-doubt. We want to look at our lack of trust, or whatever we want to call it, and we want to kind of hover around it. We want to observe it. We don't want to go deep into it, because then we're not able to hear and be inspired and move through as well. There's a time and a place to for sure feel your feelings, but as we're talking about this, I just want you to observe how this has played out in your life and if you can relate to these things. So the first thing I want to say about self-doubt is right out of the gate. Every single human has doubt or fear or self-doubt. And the people that you perceive as high achievers, they don't have doubt. They just have found the way for them to move through the doubt and do the big scary thing anyway. Maybe they're meditating, maybe they're going for a big run, maybe they're, working with a mentor, working with a coach, helping themselves as they up level because things come up. So for every single one of us, when we are on the precipice of something big, self-doubt starts to come in. Anytime we go for something new, something that our brain has not yet seen as possible, the brain doubts. So doubt and self-doubt comes from the brain, right? It doesn't come from your soul. It doesn't come from your intuition. It comes from your brain. So doubt is really just your brain going like, I don't know, right? And then because the way your ego and your brain works, it's going to show you proof. So say, for an example, this has been the case with clients. This has, I've seen this commonly. It's something that happens where maybe we go out to change our health. We go out to change our life. Maybe we want to lose weight, or we want to heal our body, or we want to get more in touch and be our healthiest self. Right away, your brain goes, I don't know. And then it gives you a bunch of facts. Remember that other time? Or if you get healthy, that means not eating any of the foods that you enjoy. Or remember that time you lost weight and gained it back? Or that's not going to work for you. Whatever it is, it has endless reasons why it's not going to work. But again, it's your brain. That is a very normal, as I said, a very normal thing to experience, especially when you're up leveling. And to have self-doubt or fear about what's next or about achieving something literally shows me, as an intuitive, a mentor, a teacher, that shows me that you are going after something that is next or is bigger than what you have already, or at least you have dreams of something more, right? That's why you have doubt. When we have doubt if we can do it, if we have what it takes, if we can truly manifest our desires, built into that same block of energy is the straight up fact that that means you're here and going after something more. So I just want to acknowledge you for that. And if your brain has never seen it to be true, Or if you've had something where you had it, but then lost it, maybe again, you were healthy and then you slid backwards, or you feel like you slid backwards, or you were in a relationship, but it ended badly, your brain is going to play that over to you. That's the way it works. That's survival. That's the ego. Your brain is going to go, I don't think you can, because remember that time? Remember those 712 times when you've let yourself down or whatever, right? So again, just observing if this is true to you. If you start to feel sucked into the story, just take a breath, come back with me. We're just talking about it, right? So self-doubt is in your head. Self-doubt is in your thoughts. And number one, it's totally understandable that you would have self-doubt. If I walked every day in your life and experienced everything you've experienced since the time you were born, I would think the same things you do. And me, with my experiences, I have my own self-doubt that I navigate because of the things I've been through. It's totally understandable. And it's just something your brain does. So let's take away any shame. Let's strip away any understanding like you shouldn't ever have doubt, right? Any guilt, any shame about having doubt in the first place. This is normal. This is because you're a seeker, you're a transformation artist, you are moving yourself forward, and it's scary. So number one, totally normal. Don't shame yourself for having doubt. It literally means you're going after something bigger. You're going after your next level. The next thing I want to remind you of is that you are not your thoughts. Self-doubt is a thought, a mental construct that tells you you can't do something, but it's not something physically holding you back. There is a nervous system, a trauma reaction where we freeze or we fight or we flight, and that's real. But I'm not trying to bypass that, but I'm just saying self-doubt is a thought. And when you learn to work with your mind, when you learn to work with your body, when you learn to come back to center, you can move through those thoughts without having to act on them. So they say this, right, about cravings. If you have a craving for something, they say if you for a certain food, you take a breath, you put your hand on your heart, you breathe through it. They say that the craving only lasts less than a minute because it just flows through. And this is the same thing, is the doubt's always going to come up. Is anyone going to buy that? Can I actually do it? What if I give up? And we learn how to breathe through it and not get attached to it and believe it. No, it's our head freaking out because it's scary, it's unknown. And self-doubt is a thought. So when we give it power, when we treat it as if it's true, that's when we actually do go like, no, but I can't. No, but I'm weak. No, but I don't have willpower. And that's okay too. Wherever you're at is okay. But I just want you to remember that self-doubt is a thought and you are not your thoughts. So what you can start to do right away is anytime you start doubting yourself, if you can, if you've done some of this work before, try to be the observer of that doubt. And go, interesting. As soon as I said to myself, like, oh, it'd be fun to do a marathon, or it'd be fun to set a money goal for the next 12 months or something. As soon as I did this, in my head, all these reasons came up why I couldn't. Or I started to get excited about going for walks every day and, really changing my health. And then right away, I got this voice saying like, blah, 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 right? All the times you haven't done it. And just by simply observing your thoughts, this is like a higher consciousness tool in general, but just by observing your thoughts, you separate yourself from the thoughts. And then you start to go, those are my thoughts, but who is the one observing the thoughts? Welcome to my world and how my head works and how my channel works. The infinite powerful you is the one observing the thoughts. So just as a gentle practice, if you've never done this before, it might take some time. Don't expect, one time and you're never going to have self-doubt again, but just start observing your thoughts and going, curious. As I started to go for this big scary thing, all this doubt started coming up. And note it. You can even write it out if you're a journaler. Instead of going, I'm never going to do it in your journal, go, today I observed that I had a lot of doubt about this big goal. That must mean it's really big. And it must mean a lot to me because my head is giving me all the reasons, right? So I've said a couple points. So first, it was that everybody has self-doubt. It's literally a natural built-in part of ascending or moving forward or growing or expanding. The second thing is that you're not your thoughts, and we can actually start to separate ourselves from that self-doubt. The next thing I want to talk about is the spiritual truth of that everything is happening for your growth. And you know how I say all the time, grow through what you go through? These are times when, again, we can use self-doubt to be like, curious, I notice this. It's a chance to look within. It's a chance to identify what's the narrative going on there. Well, I never have done it before, so I don't think I can. Or I'm not a morning person, so I can't have a consistent routine. Or I don't tend to stick to something. It's an invitation to look within. It's an invitation to deepen your self-trust. It's an invitation to look at it and go, this is an area that may need more healing or examining, not hyper-analyzing, but noticing that there's a part of you that wants something more and there's a part of you that doubts yourself. And that's okay. This doubt that comes up, the narrative that comes up is actually happening so that you can see it and learn how to move through it. So basically, as we go on this manifestation journey, we desire something. And the universe, life, shows us what's in our way to manifesting it. This is why manifestation fascinates me so much from a spiritual perspective, because even when we say, okay, I want to make $100,000 this year or $100,000 more this year or whatever, right away, our brain comes in, our limits come in, our stuff comes in. And that is showing you, hey, this self-doubt inside is actually stopping you from fully stepping into that next level. So as the self-doubt comes up, again, it's not ultimately true. It's showing you, it's a mirror showing you, hey, you've got some doubt inside, and that's stopping you from really getting to that next level. So let's look at it. Let's just give it some love. Let's learn some tools to move through. It's an invitation to deepen. It's an invitation to go, there's something going on there. So self-doubt isn't the ultimate truth. Even if 100% of the time you feel like you've let yourself down up until now, that's just because of your programming. You haven't known yet what you're capable of. Maybe you haven't fully loved yourself and given yourself the opportunity to rise, to really step into what you see for yourself. And that's okay. We all have that again, right? So everything is happening for your growth, including self-doubt, because it's showing you what's in there. And the more we try to just ignore the self-doubt and plow through it, we're missing really valuable learning opportunities. It's an invitation for deeper growth, deeper exploration, deeper healing. So I want you to know here, before we kind of move into a little bit more and some more actionable steps, I want you to know that you're on a journey, as I'm saying, and it's okay to feel self-doubt. It's okay to question yourself. It's okay to be afraid. You're human. And this is the thing that Spirit shows me is they kind of laugh and say, sometimes when we're in the process of enlightenment, we think that we should be spirit. We think that we should always surrender and never have doubt and never have thoughts of fear or lack, but it's just not the way it is. We are human. And right now, we're here for a bit. We're having a human experience, and that means experiencing a full range of emotions. And I really do believe, from what I've gathered intuitively, that all of these emotions are here to help us on our journey. So the emotion of gratitude or excitement or fulfillment, it moves us forward. The emotions of self-doubt or lack or fear, they're not just moving us backwards or blocking us. They're valuable teachers. They are things that we have not yet learned. They're things we have not yet seen. They're things we have not yet broken through. And just like if you went to school to become, to get your master's in whatever, you're going to be learning stuff the whole time. There's going to be times where you have more homework than you feel like what you can do. Or a test comes along, you're like, oh my God, we barely scratched that. How am I supposed to learn this? But it's all leading you to that end result of knowing what you need to know to move forward in your career. Well, this is exactly the same. You're in Earth school. So these challenging things that come up are opportunities to deepen. And they're also opportunities to go you know what? It's okay to have self-doubt. The self-doubt is not me. It doesn't ultimately mean I can't move forward. It just feels like that. And it feels very real. And it is something that goes on within me. But I wonder why I have that self-doubt, or I wonder how I can start to soften that self-doubt, and just starting to separate again yourself from the self-doubt, knowing it's normal. And a really powerful tool that I will do is anytime that narrative comes up about, you can't do that, who are you to do that, nobody's going to buy that, nobody's going to want that, blah, 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 whatever it is. Or if it's about my body, like, can you really heal like chronic inflammation and pain you've had since you were 12? Like, doubt comes up. But what I learned to do first and foremost is to slow down, put my hand on my heart, and just go, it's okay to feel doubt right now. It's because I'm doing scary shit. It's because I'm moving forward. It's because I'm breaking out of comfort zones. And I'm human. And doubt is just a human emotion. It's okay to feel it. Reminding you that you are more powerful than you think. You are a divine being with limitless potential. You have the strength, you have the wisdom, you have the courage within you to overcome any challenge. It's literally built into your soul blueprint. And that includes self-doubt. You are here for mastery. You are here for transformation. You are here for freedom and inner peace and healing and abundance. So of course you're going to have some doubt. Everybody that goes to the Olympics at one time or another has some doubt. Everybody that goes after big shit has some doubt. Everybody that launches their product prototype hoping that somebody will pick it up has doubt. Everybody does. So just reminding yourself that it's okay. And when you feel it, we have a choice to either spin off and believe it, like, you're right, I can't do it. I'm too young to be inspiring. I'm too old to start again. I will never be able to do it. I can't for some reason. That moment is an opportunity to stop and be with yourself and give yourself safety and love and security in those moments. So I want you to imagine right now for a moment in your future reality, not very far in the distance, where big things, you're going after big things. You're going after healing your body, making more money, launching the business, believing in yourself, and stuff comes up. And you navigate that stuff with grace. You have fear and you shake it out, or you cry it out, or you have a mentor to keep you, focused and really cheerleading you on, or you have friends around you that care about you, or you are somehow becoming your own cheerleader. And when you get into that doubt mode, when it's hard to trust, when it feels like nothing is working out, you put your hand on your heart and you come back to yourself and you say, I am worthy of going after my dreams. I can learn how to do what I need to do. One step at a time, I can do this. And we start one step at a time to start reprogramming that. So imagining what your life would look like if you met your self-doubt with tools to alchemize, to move through. How would it feel? What would be possible for you on the other side of that self-doubt? So I'm going to get into a few actionable steps to overcome self-doubt. But before I do that, the other thing I just wanted to say is that I kind of already said it, but Spirit wants to just make sure it's really clear. Everybody has self-doubt. And one of the biggest problems that humans have is they believe it. And that's the whole thing with the ego, with the quote unquote limiting beliefs. We can either believe them or go, interesting. Every time I go after something big, all my stuff comes up. Every time I start going after something, I start not believing in myself. And that is, again, a point of self-awareness. But the main point we're making here, my spirit team really wants to say, is that doubt is not something physical that actually is proof we can't do it. It's perceived proof we can't do it. By simply seeing your self-doubt and recognizing that it's coming up, but also recognizing it doesn't mean I can't. Tomorrow is literally unwritten, my love. And you know those times when something shifts really quick, when you have a breakthrough. I see this in clients all the time. Like, I've had clients recently coming to me with some sort of really big problem. It's with relationships, or it's with money. And it's like, no matter what I do, I can't move out of this place. Or it's with healing or self-belief, as we're talking about. And I see how quickly things can change with guidance, with tools, with breakthroughs. So thinking of a time when you had an aha, thinking of a time when something changed on a dime. And just remembering that that self-doubt is not concrete. And in fact, there's lots of times that you've overcome huge stuff. Times when you had self-doubt coming out of your hoo-ha and you still did it anyway. Times when you didn't know how you could make it after a divorce, or moving somewhere new, or starting a new job that felt like it was out of your league, or being single for what felt like forever, and you didn't know if you could do it. You didn't know if it was going to happen. You didn't know if you could. Probably almost every single thing you've overcome, you've had self-doubt about. So whatever it is that you have self-doubt about coming forward or moving forward, start to become more aware of it and remember that it's not fact. So I have a process called the limiting belief dissolver that I use with clients and in certain group programs and things like that. But part of it is starting to recognize that these beliefs are simply not true, as I'm saying. So one thing with self-doubt is I want you to think of something you want. I'll use the example of more money, and self-doubt comes up and we go, I don't know if I can do that. Or no matter what I do, it never is enough. Or I've tried so many things, like, I don't know if I can. I don't know if I'm cut out for this. Whatever it is that's going on in your life where you tend to feel that, part of the dissolver process that I do with people is I'd ask you, is it ultimately true that you can't do it? Or does it just really feel like you can't do it? And then, is this true for everybody all the time, for every human on the planet? Meaning that if you're not a morning person, you can never become a morning person. Or if you've never manifested a house, that means you can't. Or if you've never been able to follow through on healthy eating or loving your body, that you can't do it. Is it ultimately true for everybody all the time? Or has there been ever anyone once that has moved through the self-doubt you have? Or when we have a limiting belief in this process, say the limiting belief is money is hard, I would ask, is that ultimately true for everybody on the planet, that money is hard? We're more talking about self-doubt, but it's the same type of theme. Is it ultimately 100% true that you can never do something good for yourself, or that you've never started something new and followed through, or that you've never shown up for yourself or never overcome something? And is it true for everyone on the planet that it's impossible? It's actually impossible for you to go from where you are right now, maybe it's $20,000 in debt, into having millions or being in financial security. Has that ever happened to anyone ever? And that is sometimes, you guys, what I latch onto. There were so many times when I'm like, fuck, I'm not doing this. I don't feel like this is working. It doesn't feel like the universe is listening. It doesn't feel like manifestation is real. Like, I remember this so well, especially in my 20s and 30s. And I would always say to myself, I don't think that Wayne Dyer and Deepak Chopra and Eckhart Tolle and Gabby Bernstein and Ram Dass and like all these people that I look up to and books I've read and people that I've, really studied their stuff and manifestation, I don't think they're all lying. So I need to find the way in which I can tap into that, because I don't feel like everyone out there is lying about all of this and that the whole system is fake. But these are things for you to inquire within yourself. But I do want to just ask you, has there ever been a time you've overcome this? Has there ever been a time someone else has overcome this, that they've gone from shy to being able to do a TED Talk, or been in active addiction to recovering, or having a mom wound or mom trauma and then healing? Has anyone ever done it? And sometimes we can use that as a lifeline to go, there must be a way. There must be a way. So I want to get into the actionable steps and wrap up this episode, but Spirit also wants to say that when we move from I can't and into there must be a way, or some similar energy, that what they're exactly saying is to create what it is you want. There is a pleasure-filled, like they want to say like a good path. And what that means is, if you want to get healthy, there is a way where you sink into your power and you discover that it doesn't mean you can never eat the foods you want. It doesn't mean you can never have sugar again or never have a burger or whatever. There is a better feeling way that gives you health and vitality, and it's not restriction and diets and regiments and shoulds. There is a way. And that's what I've found, is there is a way to make more money without it feeling like I can't spend money on anything. There is a way to become healthy without feeling restricted and, like I have to give up everything and be working out all the time. There is a way to heal my body without having to take $700 of vitamins and 37 pills a day. It doesn't mean that I'm not open to a supplement. It doesn't mean I'm not going out for walks. It doesn't mean I'm not, intentionally spending money or intentionally saving money. But we tend to think I can't do this because it requires something of me that is bigger than what I can do. It's stressful. I don't want it, right? Who wants to diet and never eat the food they want? No. But from the quantum side of it, from the spiritual side of it, when your head and your beliefs and your co-creative abilities are on point, I am now at the point where I truly believe I can eat anything I want and my body will release weight if I need it. It's actively healing no matter what, because I've decided that. So sometimes with self-doubt, we feel that in order to do that thing, it's going to require more of me than what I have. I'm not that strong. I'm not that disciplined. But when we get over that hump and be open to, okay, source, spirit, universe, spirit team, God, higher self, soul, butterfly, what is my best feeling path to health? Show me my best feeling path to making more money, my best feeling path to buying a home, to finding a soulmate. And that sometimes can lessen that feeling of, oh my God, it's going to take 10,000 things. It's going to make me be way bigger than I am, more focused than I am, more adulty, more whatever, better with money than I am. We doubt ourselves because we doubt our abilities. So first of all, I want you to believe in yourself and your abilities and how frickin' strong you are, because look at how much you've already overcome. But I also want to remind you that life isn't meant to be painful. It's not meant to be that everything is this like pilgrimage and, almost like torture. That, yeah, sure, you can get healthy, but you're never going to eat anything you ever want ever again. Like, that's not what spirit says. When you're clicked into how the mind works and how the natural laws work and the power of your mindset, as I've shared before on the show many times, I can eat chocolate and know that I am my healthiest self. And that knowing that I am my healthiest self also makes me excited to like roast up Brussels sprouts or cook some really beautiful dinner that's also good for me, but it's all based in pleasure. And then the chocolate is in pleasure, and going for a walk is in pleasure. And sometimes not going for a walk is in pleasure, or working out feels so good because I'm in my zone. So as we start to wrap this up, I'm going to give you some actionable steps, but I hope that so far in this episode, it's been a little bit of a pep talk to reframe. And we often feel like self-doubt is this huge boulder in front of you. And I want you to imagine right now, self-doubt being this huge boulder that has felt like it's in front of you. And I want you to realize that it's not blocking you, and you can like walk around this boulder. You can just go to the left a little bit, and it's actually just like a big rock that if you go to the left a little bit and walk around, all of a sudden you're on the other side. It's not this infinite wall of China that's blocking you that goes forever in each direction. It's actually just this big boulder, and you can walk around it. There's another way. It's normal to self-doubt. It literally means you're here for big things. It's the brain, it's survival. It's an opportunity to look within and see what part of you needs to be felt, realized, healed, moved through. But it's not ultimately true. So some actionable steps to move through and overcome self-doubt. I've touched on these a little bit, but number one is definitely awareness. So the first part of overcoming that self-doubt is becoming aware of it. Noticing those thoughts that come up, acknowledging them without judgment, becoming the observer of the thoughts, saying simply to yourself, I see you, self-doubt, or curious. As soon as I wrote out my manifestation list, or as soon as I hired a mentor or thought about hiring a mentor, everything came up about why I can't. Or as soon as I signed up for the gym, I got all this self-doubt of like, why did you do that? You shouldn't sign up. You should cancel right now. Like, if that sounds like you, that's how it works, right? So acknowledging it, bringing it into the light of your awareness. And from there, it actually either moves through you very quickly and just goes, or it can be there to be healed, or we can start to see it and go, I see the self-doubt, but I am not the self-doubt. That's just my brain freaking out. And that's, we can notice that where it's like, oh, yesterday was an emotional day, or wow, I really freaked out the other day, but it's not ultimately who we are. It was just the bubbling up of our emotions. And that's okay too. We're human. So the first part is definitely awareness and acknowledging it without judgment. Seeing your self-doubt without judgment and just going, there it is, there's self-doubt, breathe, breathe. And you may find you want to say some loving words to yourself, but just seeing it is so powerful. The next part and the next sort of step that you can do is to start to reframe it. So once you become aware of the self-doubt, starting to reframe it and not just into like, I'm capable of anything. If that resonates, do it. But for example, if your self-doubt is going, I can't do this, stop, put your hand on your heart, take a slow, deep breath and go, I'm witnessing my self-doubt, step one. But you know what? I am not my self-doubt. There must be a way. Or I'm open to learning. Or source, show me the best feeling path. Let's take incremental action. Let's take small steps. You can tell yourself, I don't have to do it all at once. I can just do it tiny bits. Or I'm wanting to believe in myself. So I see my self-doubt, and instead of I can't do this, it's there must be a way, or somehow I'll find a way, or I want to be open to finding a way. Anything else is better than I can't do this. So the more you practice reframing, the more you actually shift your mindset, and it becomes the automatic thought where you see it and you go, wow, I know that every time I'm launching something, every time I come up with a big idea or something in my personal life that feels really big, like a milestone, everything comes in. I notice this, my husband, same thing, my client, same thing. Like it's just the way that it works. Big stuff is going on. We all of a sudden get like, oh shit, backpedal, I can't do this. But we can. We are not our doubt. We can. So the next step would be connecting to that higher self, connecting to those desires that you have for yourself, and touching base with those desires. And again, asking for that highest path or that most pleasure-filled path, the best way to get there, and staying incrementally open. The next thing I want to say, and this is really powerful, this is probably the biggest healing part of all, is practicing not doubting yourself or practicing showing up for yourself in a higher way. So for me, self-love, self-care, self-acceptance is one of my biggest soul assignments. So I always used to self-sabotage my daily practice, always, like forever, up until like the last year to year and a half. And instead of going like, oh, I should do a daily practice. Oh no, another day I didn't. Why do I do that? That was totally where I was at. What I started saying to myself is like, okay, I'm going to practice showing up for myself because I had that. I don't know myself to show up for myself. In fact, I know myself to self-sabotage, to go dark, to be destructive. That's like my past. I've had addiction and eating disorder and all this stuff in my past that came from that dark, crunchy, sabotagey energy. So now I practice showing up for myself. So every single time I do a workout, I do a walk, I do yoga, I do somatics, anything, I go, this is me practicing showing up for myself. So I want you to, instead of trying to get rid of self-doubt, we start to practice what it's like to show up for ourselves in tiny little things. So drinking more water, trying to remember to take your supplements. And this doesn't have to be every single thing every day. It's bits and parts. Today you do yoga. Today you sit and stretch and you go, this is me practicing showing up for myself. This is me practicing being there for myself and showing myself that I can show up for me. And that may feel hard and challenging, but if we start with those small things, they actually have a huge compound effect, but it's also the place we start to gain trust. Self-doubt is usually a lack of self-trust. So as we start to come home to ourselves and start to learn how to trust ourselves, that naturally starts to dissolve the self-doubt. Taking small, empowered actions, taking small, empowered decisions toward your goals, and one meditation at a time, one glass of water at a time, One time you remember to take your magnesium and you go, this is me showing up for me. I'm practicing. I'm repairing that relationship with myself. And the other thing with repairing that relationship and self-trust is being in integrity with your word, with yourself. So this is going to really hit some of you because I know it did me. How often do you say, I'm going to do this 40-day thing. I'm going to do that thing. And like you promise yourself, Monday, I'm going to do it. Later at 3 o'clock, I'm going to meditate. And you say it and then you don't do it. So that starts to break trust with yourself. Just the way that if I said that to my husband, like at 3 o'clock, I'll be there. We'll go to the store. And I don't show up. And then I'm like, okay, we'll have a date night tomorrow. And then I don't come home or I'm busy, or like he would start to not trust me. Your word is your integrity. Your word is your trust, or how you create trust. They say like you're only as good as your word or something like that, but with ourselves. So what I did, and this was about 2 years ago, I just felt like I leaned in. What I did, gather round, children. What I did is I started saying, I am only going to say something that I know I can follow through on. So if you had to only make promises to yourself that you had to follow through, or like something catastrophic happens, somebody is harmed, or I don't want to go there actually, but really like life or death, like in order to, save all the children of the world or keep your loved ones safe, you have to stay in integrity with your word. But here's the catch. You don't have to make any promises, but every promise you make, you follow through on. So what that started to do to me is I realized how many times I'm like, oh, I'm going to do this out of like desperation because I wanted to be that person. Oh, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I'm going to do blah, 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 right? Or every day at 8 a.m., I'm going to blah, blah, blah. But I realized that wasn't realistic for my life. I'm a mom of 3. Every day is different. Week is different. My schedule is different. Not every day does 8 a.m. blah, blah, blah work. Some days at 8 a.m. I'm in the car. Some days on a Sunday, my husband lets me sleep in and I'm sleeping in. Like, it's not realistic to put this big promise on yourself as a desperate attempt to quote unquote fix yourself. Instead, look at it as the actual goal is being in integrity with yourself. Slowly, incrementally moving forward to start gaining trust with yourself. So I'm going to challenge you to not make any promises that you can't keep. And you can also say things like, my intention is at 3 o'clock to meditate. And then if at 3 o'clock comes and like something goes sideways and you have to run the dog out to the vet, or you forgot about a thing you have to pick up, you're dry cleaning, then it's okay. But when you say, tomorrow I'm going to work out, do it. Bring that trust back inside the house. You have to learn to trust yourself. Nobody's making you make these promises, so don't make a promise to yourself you can't keep. And for any of you that are parents, I think about this with my kids. If I say, like, I really refrain from being like, tomorrow we're going for ice cream. Because there's been times when I'm like, tomorrow we should go for ice cream. And then it just turns into like, oh, I forgot there was dance. And oh, it was cleaning day. And oh, and then I feel bad because everyone's like, ice cream. And I'm like, oh, actually. And again, if I did that over and over, I'd be like, kids, we're going for ice cream. And they'd roll their eyes and be like, yeah, right. That's what we do with ourselves. Yeah, right. You're going to do it. Yeah, right. You're going to walk around the block. Yeah, right. So what we do is we start repairing that relationship. And sometimes I'll even say like right now, well, I'm recording right now, but if right now it works to go around the block, I'll say, I'm going to go for a walk around the block right now and go do it. Almost like I'll promise it and do it right away. Instead of these vague later promises in a desperate attempt to feel like I'm moving forward. So I hope that resonates. And the last thing that I want to say is to surround yourself with supportive energy. Like surround yourself with the energy of accountability, of cheerleaders, of people rooting you on. A friend that roots you on, maybe an app with reminders, maybe doing your own like reminders, being a part of something, being a part of a group, having mentorship. You know the difference when we hire a personal trainer and we have that appointment? We keep that a lot more than when it's like generically, let's hope to go to the gym, right? So staying in that supportive energy. joining together a like-minded group of friends and have a monthly Zoom date, or get together with a friend, or keep, health accountability. I've had with my bestie times especially when we first met, we were like accountability people for each other with the gym. We'd go work out, we'd talk about our stuff, we'd go make a huge salad together. Like, it was like we had that support. It doesn't always have to be another person, but joining a community of like-minded souls. Having someone to help you stay in that energy is massive. And if that really resonates with you and you've been wanting to find an opportunity to work together, if I really resonate, I actually have some spots for one-on-one work moving into fall. That is the best place for that introspection, for growth, for learning. And I would love to support you on the journey. And even better than it being just me supporting you, because I'm a channel, because I'm an intuitive, you are constantly touching base with your spirit team and their guidance for you, staying on that path. So if that resonates, you can check the link below, reach out on Instagram, email me, let me know you're interested. And I can't wait to see if we are a match to work together. I can give you all the info. But again, it doesn't actually have to be another person. But staying in that energy of touching base with, yes, I can do it. Yes, accountability, supportive people that believe in you, because sometimes we can get lost in our head. But I've even done things, as I said, like setting notifications on my phone, having an app, like there's productivity apps and daily reminder apps and things like that to just remind you to keep going. But to sum this up, remember that self-doubt is normal. Remember that it's part of the process. It means you're going after something big and something you have not yet done. That's why it's unknown in your mind. Knowing it's an opportunity to look a bit deeper, to bust through that level, knowing that it's just showing you what has been stopping you, and that self-doubt is not you. Self-doubt is a thought. Self-doubt is a pattern. It is an emotion. I would say it's an emotion. It feels real, but it's not ultimately you. And it doesn't mean that you ultimately can't do it. And on top of that, with those tangible takeaways, start to become more aware of that self-doubt. Start to have that awareness without judgment. Know that you can reframe it. You can put your hand on your heart and just say, it's okay to feel this. Right now I'm experiencing very human self-doubt. That's okay. Breathe through. And then, you know what, universe, I'm open to how I can do this in a way that feels good. Show me my highest pleasure path to abundance, to health, to healing, to reconciling, to whatever it is. And start to have that awareness, start to reframe. I feel like I can't do it, but I'm open to how I can do it. Staying in connection with that higher vision, that what you want for your life, but then remembering that it comes down to trusting yourself. So start to build back that relationship. Start to build back the trust in yourself. And if you accept, take on the challenge of, do not promise yourself anything that you are not going to do and hold and keep and honor. And every single thing you do promise, make sure to do it. And recognize that it's coming back to that energy of, I can trust myself. I can rely on myself. And it's not easy. We've all been through trauma. We've all been through stuff. But this is where we take the power back. We take small incremental actions toward what we want and build back that trust, build back that self-integrity. So I hope that this has served you today, my love. This is definitely a longer episode than what I've been doing. Take a deep breath as we close this episode. Place your hand on your heart. Feel the light and the love that resides within you. Know that you are absolutely worthy. You are capable. You are enough. Self-doubt, it's just a visitor. It doesn't define you. It's going to float through. You're on a beautiful journey of awakening, and every step you take is bringing you closer to that true self. So learning to trust in the process, learning to trust in yourself. Thank you so much for joining me today. And if this episode resonated with you, share it with someone you love, share it with someone who may need this encouragement. And if you want those tangible step-by-step processes, you can always join On the Path, which is my other podcast that is devoted to giving you effective self-growth and manifestation tools, clarity, guidance, actionable steps to navigate your spiritual awakening and your personal development journey, and truly helping you to move forward incrementally toward your manifestations. And over on the Path, I support you with weekly assignments, deep dive episodes, monthly challenges, and my entire methodology that is literally a self-development course manifestation course that you go through. You can go through from beginning to end. And that's also hosted right at the beginning of On the Path. The first 20-ish episodes are literally a course, a process you can move through. So whether you're craving that deep dive course, you're wanting meditations and journal prompts and actionable tools to create a daily practice to align with your soul, to manifest, On the Path is for you. The link for that is below as well. Okay, my love, I believe in you. You've got this. If anything that I talked about today piqued your interest, working together privately, On the Path, etc., you can check everything below. And I will see you in the next episode. Thank you for listening to the Awakening Her podcast, your go-to for real life manifestation. If you enjoyed the show, please leave a review on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you're listening from. Reviews really help the show. You can also find me after the show on Instagram at Talia Joy Manifestation. And listen, love, I know that you are ready to stop spinning your wheels and hustling and doing a bunch of stuff, and you're ready to make the money you want to make, to feel the way you want to feel. And if this is the case for you, then you are absolutely in the right place. I'm so excited. And if you're ready to jump into the implementation, you can check out On the Path. The link is below. Remember, all manifestation starts on the inside. I'll see you in the next episode.